Hello everyone, welcome back to Murder by Witchcraft. And we're now jumping to July 1612. Can you not do something about your man there? I turned to glare at the woman. She'd come in a fortnight since with her husband. As far as I could tell, their only crime were to be gypsies. And no matter, I weren't not giving up my spot by the narrow slit in the wall. I was up to my ankles in filthy water. My thumbs still pained me, and I stood hunched up to protect them under my arms. The smell, the smell, from the foss on the other side of the wall were none too fresh. But it were a damn sight better than the stink in this place. It had been bad enough when I arrived, but now there must be 4 dozen folk in here, men and women, even children, with crimes ranging from publishing unlawful books or being a seminary priest to coining piracy or, of course, murder, witchcraft. They'll come from all over Yorkshire. I'm sent from Gisborne. We're closest to the county of Lancaster, int west. And the pirate were from Scarborough, of course. There were folk from Hull, Bradford, Knaresborough, and a fair showing of York too. And the gypsies, of course. Lord knew where they were from. John Wilson suffered another coughing fit, and I sighed, motioned the gypsy woman to take my place and find a little fresher air, and limped my way through sprawled limbs, drowned rats, and clutching fingers to tend to him. He grabbed my hand and I seated myself next to him, and I winced at the warmth of his skin and the crawling sensation I had whenever he touched me. "How do, John?" His only response was laughter, a high-pitched cackle now. I had not thought I would miss the chuckle with which he'd first greeted me on my return to this dungeon. I gritted my teeth and pushed aside the ties of his shirt to peer at his chest. The red spots of gall fever were barely there, but I did not doubt that they would grow. But there was naught I could do for him. I sat back and scratched my arm. Looking about me, I wondered how many more were festering death. Were the heat in me own skin from the same cause or something else? Surely it would not be much longer till we left this hellhole. The door banged open in the Gowler's usual fashion, and I stiffened when I saw that this time he had a guard of 6 with him, all bearing arms. It were time then. Suddenly, I were not so keen to leave the pit. He called near 20 names, including Maggie Thorne, Lizzie Nixon. Both women held their hands out to me, and I grasped them with care, the fear in their eyes, no doubt, reflected in my own, and none of us finding any words. But none were needed. We all felt the same, and no words had been created to aid us in this field mixture of terror, hope, and futility. They were pulled away, and I were left holding naught but air. Father Greaves took my arm. "Come," he said, and led me back to John Wilson. We sat by the suffering man, and others joined us. I noticed the pirate, the other priest, and men charged with robbery and murder, all the serious crimes, the hanging crimes. I were not the only woman, though. The gypsy woman was still here with her husband, as well as another 2 accused of witchcraft. We gathered together, now happy to have the comfort of others close by, and keeping out of the worst of the flooding, at least. Father Greaves led the prayers, and none bothered about Protestant or Catholic. It were just good to have the comfort of man of God. Then our names were all called, all but John Wilson's. I reached over to him and bid my farewell. He gave me a weak smile. "God be with you, Jennet." God be with you, Jennet, he whispered. Ain't no God in this place, I muttered. A little bit more quiet, though, so the priest did not hear me. And that's the end of that part, guys. It looks like Jennet is about to head to trial, where what will be, and that is that. Thank you for listening. Many blessings.